So not a good example of how we want to coach somebody in that example. In fact, it wasn't really coaching, I don't think, was it? We want to be looking at benefits of coaching and supporting our workforce, and that isn't going to bring a benefit. So let's start finalizing by thinking about some of the benefits that are going to come from coaching and supporting the individuals in the workplace. And the first, and it seems obvious, is improved performance. It's going to increase skills. It's going to increase their understanding of their role and the organisation. Hopefully, from that they're going to become more productive, and it's going to build their confidence. And confidence is key with a lot of them. It's going to bring empowerment, and this is where I think it starts to get really interesting for us as leaders. It promotes them, and I don't mean promoting them as in rank or everything, although that could be a future benefit. I'm talking about it in promoting them as a person or as part of the team or as part of the workforce, because it gives them belief, and they start to believe in themselves. They start taking responsibility for things, and hopefully that just develops more and more and more. It gives them a sense of worth and improves their attitude. And when we talked about motivation, all those things start to make people more satisfied and therefore prepared to do a good job. It gets engagement. They start feeling and getting involved in things instead of just sitting and waiting for things to happen. It builds a better relationship with you and with the rest of the team, therefore creating a stronger bond so that things can be discussed openly, and that we can build on that relationship. And finally, for their personal development, from these coaching, if we haven't already got them, we can build a development plan to take them forward. That will offer improved confidence and belief in building their career, and ultimately for you and the organisation, you can start to do some succession planning, and by that I mean starting to think about who within your organisation can replace people as natural losses happen, because really we should have someone ready to step into that other person's shoes or to take on that next role. And if we're doing coaching and seeing how these people are developing and supporting them, we'll be able to succession plan and be thinking about that, rather than it being oh my god, someone's leaving, what are we going to do? And it's always better if we can recruit from within. So in the next slide, we'll just start to recap on what we've talked about in coaching and supporting individuals in the workplace. To recap on what we've covered then, our aim was to understand the role that coaching plays in the workplace, and I think we've done that looking through coaching models, the motivational aspect, the benefits it brings and the skills we need to be effective in it, how we can take people's learning styles into account. And as we've gone through it, we've talked about lots of little examples about how it can be used and where it can be put in place. So just the activity to finalize this session. And so what do you need to do next? Well, you've got an activity sheet, activity 4, and that's about coaching. It asks you to start thinking about areas and individuals that you could start coaching, because as part of the skills unit, leading people, which we'll look at later, unit 304, where you need to produce evidence, you'll need to show evidence that you've been planning and coaching at least one team member. So starting to think about it now, who or perhaps a role and what you could be coaching, why coaching would be the best method, and the sort of method or approach you might start using. So that might be the model, how you're going to go about it, etc. So just start thinking about that. This will give you ideas that you can upload to show you've completed this, but also, and that you reflected on what we've done, but also so that you can use it later on when you start to produce your evidence. Then we can move on to session 3. Just a quick reminder, in the handouts to help you in the resources, there are handouts on each coaching method. There's a video that you can watch of a grow session, and there's also a link to an e-book which is free on effective coaching. So utilize those tools when you're doing your activity, and I'll see you in session 3.